as you see, this is just plain text. So all you have to do is copy paste this text and share it with your team members. Or better, you can also create a Git repository and have these files there, and then have your team work on the repository, continuously updating each script, and then you'll have proper robust version control in your Power BI.
A while back, Microsoft introduced a new view in Power BI Desktop called TMDL, which stands for Tabular Model Definition Language. This isn't just a new tab, it's a shift from a visual-only workflow to a robust code-first engineering discipline. Now, I know you must have also gone through the nightmare of version control in Power BI Desktop, where we create the final version of the report, and then due to endless change requests from stakeholders, we create final V2, really final V2, and so many more. This happens because the development was not based on predefined and structured code. Instead, it was fully dependent on GUI clicks. This is good for quick development and prototype creation, but when we talk about software development cycles, we don't have any control over its code because PBIX files were a black box. Before TMDL, we used to have TMSL, which stands for Tabular Model Scripting Language. This is a command and object model definition language for Power BI dataset and analysis service models. Technically, it's a JSON-based code where every table, column, measure, and relationship in your Power BI is described in one massive TMSL file, often referred to as model.bim file. While TMSL works great for computers, it is terrible for humans, especially when working in teams. The primary issue is source control and collaboration. In TMSL, your entire data model, which could have hundreds of tables and thousands of measures, is stored in one giant JSON file. If two developers change different measures at the same time and try to merge their code, the JSON structure often breaks. Tracking down a missing comma or a bracket in a 50,000 line JSON file is a developer's nightmare. Also, JSON isn't designed for comparing versions. Even a tiny change can look like a massive block of altered code. But now TMDL lets us bypass all those uncertainties. It gives us a human-readable indentation-based syntax that replaces the old messy JSON scripts. Now, few of the key improvements that we get with TMDL is, unlike the TMSL, TMDL breaks your model into a folder hierarchy. Each table has its own file like table1.tmdl, table2.tmdl, and each role has its own file, etc. It looks like clean indented text. You don't need to be a machine to understand the logic. And finally, it is Git friendly because each object is its own file. Two developers can work on different parts of the model. Example, developer A works on sales table while developer B works on products table without ever causing a merge conflict. Now in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to access it and walk you through three main superpowers of TMDL that will skyrocket your productivity. So if you're interested, keep watching.
Alright, so now I have opened up the Power BI desktop file here. And the first thing that you need to ensure that is you're on the latest version of Power BI Desktop. And once you have updated, you should see a new tab on the left side called TMDL View here. To begin with, I'm going to insert a dataset. This is a simple sales data and it's in a CSV format. I'm going to link the data in the description so that you can follow along if you want. Now I'm using a simple sales dataset that we have used in the past as well. The reason is that I want the data to be simple because I want to explain the concepts to you in a simple manner. So I'm going to directly load this dataset, no transformation needed. Now since the data is imported, let's move on to the TMDL view and show you how it works. So I'm going to click on this view here and it's going to open this blank canvas for us. In the beginning, it's giving me a welcome message wherein it's saying to start editing, drag any semantic model object from the data pane or script with TMDL from scratch. So which means you don't have to write the TMDL code from scratch. Power BI gives you that script by default. Okay. So all you have to do is click on this table here and or any table that you want, and then drag onto the canvas, and it will create that boilerplate code for you, which is already there as default. And the best part about this is human readable language, which means if I just go through and read the entire thing, I can simply understand what's happening. So it's saying create or replace, which simply means create a new table or replace a table. And then the table name is this. And these are some lineage tags which Power BI assigns for identifying that table or column. And then it's simply saying column is sales date, its data type, format string, summarized by, source column, and so on, right? So these are all attributes or parameters that we can use within TMDL to manipulate or change something about the data. You don't have to run to Power Query to do that, right? Okay, so let's look at this and let's start with our first usage and first superpower of TMDL, which is bulk refactoring. Okay, so now I'm going to look at this table here. If you see, all these columns are prefixed with the word sales underscore. It simply says that this column is from sales table, and the column headers had this naming convention, which we don't like. In the old ways, let's say you had a table and you had 50 or 100 columns in there. What you would have to do was you would have to come here, click on the three dots icon and click on rename, and then rename the column. But that will take ages. What TMDL helps you do is do this in one simple go. Okay, so click on the canvas anywhere, and now similar to any word software that you've used or text editor that you use, the shortcut for replacing any text is Control H. That same shortcut works here as well. So I'm going to find the text sales underscore and replace it with nothing. Now if you see at the bottom it says replace and then it says replace all. I'm going to click on replace all. Now once done, the script has been edited. All I have to do is click on apply. And as you see, instantly all the columns here have been renamed and the prefix from those column headers have been removed. Great, right? All right, let's go to the second usage, which is accessing hidden properties. Now for years, pro developers had to install third-party tools like Tabular Editor to access advanced settings. Now many of these are available natively in TMDL View. Let's look at a specific property called DetailRowsDefinition, and there are plethora of other properties which we won't be covering in this video, but I can definitely cover them later on. If you can just let me know in the comment section, I'll be happy to create a separate video on that topic. Now the property which is called DetailRowDefinition, this controls what happens when a user double clicks a cell in a pivot table connected to your Power BI dataset. And this is interesting, and this is why I've chosen this property to show you, because most of the people don't know this, and this involves us going on to Power BI services as well. So this will be an added bonus for this video. So let me give you an example. Let's go to the normal view first and create a new measure. This measure will be called total sales, and we're going to use the sum of amount column, nothing fancy. And I'm going to enter, and the measure has been created here. Now once done, I'm going to save this Power BI file. Now once saved, let's click on publish. I already have a workspace where I upload these tutorials. So I'm going to click that workspace here, tutorial, and select. It's publishing my PBX onto the services now. Now the publish has been completed. Let's go to the Power BI services. Now I'm going to go to powerbi.com. Within this, let's go to that workspace here. Now this is the report that we just published, and this is the semantic model. Now what we have to do is we have to connect the semantic model with an Excel file. In order to do that, the easiest way is click on this three dots icon and click on Analyze in Excel. What this will do is it will create a connection between an Excel file with this semantic model and download that Excel file onto your system. So I'm going to go to the download folder, open that up. I have this file opened up. And as you see, by default, it has already created a pivot table for me, which is connected to your Power BI dataset. And that's why you can see these table names and measures in the pivot table field section. Let's drag some columns into it. I'm going to drag this country column, and then I'm going to drag this new measure that we created, which is total sales. Now, once done, in normal scenario, if I right click on this pivot table here and click on this show details, now by default, it will show you this error, okay, or some sort of error, because by default, the feature is not enabled in Excel. Okay, So I'm going to click on OK here, and I'm going to go back to my Power BI. And within this, let's go to the TMDL view. Now, if you notice in this TMDL view, the script has automatically added that new measure that we inserted earlier, which is called total sales. And here is the formula for that. Along with these lines, what we're going to do is we're going to add one more additional line, which will enable that feature for us. So the line is detailed row definition. And as you see, it has IntelliSense. You can select it from here. And I'm going to say equal to. I'm going to write a select columns DAX function here. So I'm going to say select columns from the sales table, country and amount. Okay. Let's apply this change. Everything worked fine. I'm going to go back to the reporting view here and click on publish. It's going to ask you to save the file. I'm going to save it and I'm going to publish it back to the tutorial workspace. It will replace my older semantic model. Now, once this is done, I'm going to go back to the Excel file and click on data and click on refresh all. This will refresh the connection that we have with the semantic model. Now, if I right click on this total sales here and click on show details, it will start showing me the columns that are selected in the details row definition. Now, this is really amazing because if I send this Excel report to a user or a stakeholder, I have the control of what all data they see in terms of raw data. Okay. So they will definitely see the pivot table, but if they right click or double click on this total sales, the raw data that will be shown at the back end will be something which I can define. Okay. So I'm going to go back here in the Power BI desktop here, and along with this country column, I'm going to choose product as well. Okay. Product name and apply. Go back to the reporting view, publish. Go back to the Excel, click on data and refresh all. Now, as you see, the product column has already added, but I'm going to right click and delete this tab here and right click again, show details. Now it will show me the data in the exact order that I prescribed in my Power BI here. And it's showing me only those three columns. That's it. So this gives you immense power over certain hidden features. Now let's move on to the last bit, but this is very interesting, which is sharing and reusability. This is the last usage that I want to cover in this video, but this is an amazing tool for teams because historically Power BI version control was always a pain, right? Since TMDL is just text, this means that you can easily share logic without sending massive PBX files back and forth. So let me show you an example. So in the Power BI file, I have this sales table. Suppose you had multiple other tables here, right? But you also have a logically driven table, which is standard across all your reports. For example, time or calendar based tables, which can be applied on any report that you have in your organization. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to create a table, which is called time intelligence. And then inside that, I'm going to create a calculation group, which will have a couple of items in it. Click on this plus icon here, which gives me a new sheet in the TMDL view. I'm going to paste a code and let's correct the indentation here. What it's doing is creating a time intelligence table, and then within that it's creating a calculation group. And as you see, we have a couple of measures. So I'm going to click on apply here. Now, when you apply this, you're seeing this error which says model property discourage implicit measure must be set to true in order to create a calculation groups. The reason you're seeing this is because Power BI automatically creates implicit measures when you drag a numerical column directly into a visual, like sum of sales, without creating a DAX measure, right? Now, since calculation groups manipulate measure dynamically, Power BI requires this particular property to be set to true. Now, how do we do that? I'm going to click on this plus icon again to insert a new script and go to the model tab in this and drag the semantic model into the canvas. Once you drag this, you'll see a new property here, which is called model. And within this, we have certain properties which it's describing. We're going to add a new property and remember the indentation. And the property is obviously discourage implicit measure, add a colon and then write true. Press apply. I think I made a mistake here. So instead of placing the line here, I'm going to place it a little bit above. So just after this, which says default Power BI data source version, I'm going to press enter, paste that property here, which is discourage implicit measure true, and then apply. Now it has successfully applied onto the script. I'm going to go back to this script now and click on apply again. Now once this is done, as you see, this is just plain text. So all you have to do is copy paste this text and share it with your team members, and they can always work on this, add items to it, or edit it based on their business requirements and use it inside their model. Or you can all collaborate together and share each script with each of the analysts, and they can work on individual sales table, product table, or semantic model, or calculation groups. And once everyone has completed their work on their individual scripts, we can all club all those individual files and integrate that into this one single project. Now let me show you one last thing before we end the video. Instead of saving your file as .pbix, you can save your file as .pbip, which is Power BI projects. What this does is it splits your one single binary Power BI file into folder structure, and you will have access to all the TMDL scripts that you have in your project. So I'm going to click on save as, and let's create a new folder here because it creates a folder structure. Name it anything you like. And instead of a PBIX, I'm going to choose PBIP. It has saved this file as a Power BI project, but let me show you what it has done. I'm going to open up that same folder, and inside, as you see, you have multiple other files here. So one is the PBIP file, but along with that, you have this TMDL usages semantic model, and within that you have TMDL scripts. And these are the 3 scripts that we were working on. You can always rename these scripts from the TMDL view here. Right click and rename, and that will be reflected in the project file as well. Now you can open this script inside any Word editor. I'm going to open this inside Notepad right now, but you can use VS Code as well for this. And as you see, you have this separate script ready with you. Now for sharing, all you have to do is just send this individual file to your team member. They can work on that script, correct it, and send it back to you. And then you can place it inside the same folder and it will work just fine. Or better, you can also create a Git repository and have these files there, and then have your team work on the repository, continuously updating each script, and then you'll have a proper robust version control in your Power BI, which was earlier non-existent because of that single binary file we used to have. Now, I want to give you a quick word of caution before you go ahead and copy paste scripts from internet or shared by someone else. As you see that TMDL scripts are executable code. If you download a script from a forum or an unknown source, then make sure to inspect it before using it, because bad actors can hide malicious code that could theoretically send data to an external URL or have some unknown unwanted effects on your reports or models. So always review the code before using it inside TMDL. So with that, I'm going to end this video for now. If you found this helpful, then smash that like button and subscribe for more Power BI and data analytics related content. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.